Okay, now let me be very clear before we get underway with this video. I did not watch too many UMass games in the NCAA this previous season. A lot of my viewings of this team happened in 2017? When Cale Makar was tearing up the scene, having a Hobie Baker winning season, which, begrudgingly, I'm saying because he beat out Quinn Hughes in that year. But now, Cale Makar is a superstar in the NHL. Immediately after graduating from UMass, or not graduating, but after finishing his sophomore season with the team, he signed on to play with the Avalanche in their playoff run in 2019, and ever since then, the rest has been history. I mean, last year, 66 points, 60 games played. The year before that, 86 points in 77 games played, 29 points in 20 games when the Avalanche won the Cup. Cale Makar was also recently announced as the cover athlete for NHL 24. Things are looking great for this guy, and he is the best defenseman in hockey today. Now, the thing with Cale Makar is that he actually does have a brother whom we've already talked about once before on the channel. The brother is 3 years younger than Cale, and was eventually drafted by the same Colorado Avalanche team, wherein Cale dons the jersey and reigns supreme in the NHL. Let's talk today about Cale Makar's younger brother, Taylor Makar, and just go over how everything has gone down since he was drafted by Colorado in the 2021 draft. Now, as I said, we did make the one video back when he was drafted, kind of just going over my reaction. I said, wait a minute, why? Like, okay, I get why, but why? Why would you do this? Taylor Makar was born in 2001, meaning that he was eligible for the 2019 draft, but was passed over twice. He's a 6'3", 190-pound left-handed left-wing center, and he was taken in the 7th round, 220th overall. Now again, you could say why, well, why not? I mean, it's a 7th round pick. These guys almost never make the NHL anyway. Why not just take a random guy that you know is going to garner attention, is going to garner interest, there's going to be a storyline here, and you're going to make one of your star players very, very happy in the process. There's no negative to drafting Taylor Makar until you look at Taylor Makar and his profile. Because, as a 6'3" forward, when Makar was initially eligible to being drafted in 2019, there's a reason he wasn't. He played for the Brooks Bandits in the AJHL and had 17 points in 43 games played. The AJHL is Junior A hockey in Alberta, and in order to get drafted from this league, you kinda have to be good. Cale Makar, just to throw an example out there, was also drafted out of this team, and he had 75 points in 54 games as a defenseman. Now, to be fair, Cale Makar was astounding in that league. He was so good that he was ranked to go somewhere at the top of the 2017 draft, and he did. He went 4th overall. But for Taylor Makar, he didn't have nearly the same amount of success. Now, the season after, he did improve his point per game. He had 24 points in 42 games. Still not great for a guy who's a draft re-entry player looking to get selected by an NHL team. And then in 2020-2021, because everything was shut down due to COVID and everything, he had 19 points in only 16 games. Now, he did get drafted after this showing, but realistically, I mean, the guy was a double overage player in Junior A hockey in Alberta and was barely over a point per game. Normally, for an almost 20-year-old player who's getting drafted out of the AJHL, you want this guy to be dominant, absolutely above and beyond amazing. But Taylor Makar, alas, was still taken by the Avalanche. Now, give it a season with the Minutemen and UMass, and Taylor Makar has 1 goal in 17 games. Not great. But his most recent season saw him put up 12 points in 32 games played, 10 goals and 2 assists. Now, he's a second-year player in the UMass Minutemen system, and the numbers are not too amazing, but there still is a prospect profile here. To help us out, we're going over on to milehighhockey.com because a few days ago, Jacob Windling went out there and wrote this piece about the Colorado Avalanche's top 25 under 25. Number 16th overall is Taylor Makar, and it says here in the headline, Cale's younger brother is a developmental prospect who has improved dramatically, but still has a ways to go. The reason I like this article so much is because our writer here, Jacob Windling, says this, that he went to UMass and watched every hockey game of theirs as he could. Joining the season after UMass officially shifted the Hockey East Power Center westward took a lot of guts. Having that name, Makar, under those circumstances while knowing he may not play right away and still following in Cale's impossibly large shoes shows that he's got some of that same, I'm not even going to pronounce that word, as his brother. All that said, Taylor Makar has not scored consistently enough to make himself a top-level prospect, and my fellow writers here at Mile High Hockey had good reason to rank him much lower than me. In his first year, he was in and out of Greg Carvel's lineup as was largely expected. The hard-nosed coach who turned one of the worst programs in major college hockey into a national powerhouse demanded he use his size more. Makar had his moments, particularly when he was skating in open ice, but it never looked like the proverbial light bulb may have come on. But he could never find the back of the net, and he often found himself on the bench as the intensity of the games ramped up. His sophomore year, though, and this is why I'm reading the article to you because this is the kicker, more was expected out of Makar in a middle six role. He started on the second line with two other sophomores, and after sweeping the defending national champion University of Denver at home to open the season, everything fell apart for the Minutemen. Why I ranked Makar so high is because he earned Greg Carvel's trust and navigated the long route from the doghouse to the top line. Plus, like all of Greg Carvel's teams, the player he was in the second half of the season was much better than the one in the first. UMass's numbers from last year are skewed by the fifth best power play in the country, and they got absolutely rocked at 5-on-5. Makar's 10 goals look modest on their face, but most, if not all, came at 5-on-5, and he scored 3 goals in his last 3 games of the year while he was playing the best hockey of his career. The article then goes over some of his strengths. It talks about how he has a pretty good ability to shield the puck from defenders, how he can shoot, he can playmake as well. His mobility is definitely not at the same level as Cale, but he still has pretty alright skating ability. The conclusion here at the end of the article says unless he unlocks a full-scale Cale-sized skill set, Taylor Makar is likely at best a bottom 6 player if he makes it to the NHL, but his size, speed, shot, and his balance on his edges make him a very intriguing prospect. He was a developmental player from the start and has improved every week, and reports from the Avalanche development camp this summer are that he has gotten faster. There's a lot more information that Wiendling goes out there and provides about Taylor Makar. This is why I love this article so much. Big shout out over to Wiendling, who wrote the piece. But Taylor Makar is very apparently a legit prospect, and even though many of the numbers might not pop out at your face right away as being super notable production from a guy whom you should be paying attention to, at the end of the day, there's a storyline here simply because Makar is Makar. He's a guy that's related to one of the top hockey players in the world, and while his profile may not be all too astounding, the fact is there's that benefit of the doubt. He's grown up with Cale. He knows what it's like to be around Cale. He knows what it's like to be around top-tier talents. So if he's actually able to improve, like he did this most recent season, where exactly does Taylor Makar go? At the end of the day, the Colorado Avalanche are in a pretty good spot. It's not necessarily like they need any more bottom 6 caliber guys. This was mostly just a pick to see what could happen, see if there's an NHL player here, and see if you could actually form a more stronger connection with the Makar family by having 2 of them on your team. Cale Makar obviously is going to be sticking around in Colorado for a while, but if he's able to get his brother in there, hey, how might that motivate him? How might that make him better? How might that make him feel more beloved by this team and this fan base? If you've got 2 Makars that everybody's cheering for, then yeah, there's going to be so much love. The Makar family may be the most heralded family in the state. And when it comes to what exactly the Taylor Makar sweepstakes end up becoming, hey, if he doesn't work out, that's fine. 7th round pick, right? Now, of course, just the profile in and of itself, the production in the AJHL and his development from there, in my opinion, it's not really worth evaluating as an NHL potential talent. But the fact is, he's already in the system, he has been growing, he has been getting better, so there are green flags here. It's just the magnitude as to how green those flags are. It doesn't immediately spell NHL talent to be. We're just going to have to hope and wait and see that he actually does get even better and improve more so that he's outclassed his 7th round draft plus 2-year ranking that he had. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Taylor Makar, Cale Makar's younger brother, Colorado Avalanche prospect, and UMass Project, a guy who went from literally only 1 goal, 1 point in 17 games, to 12 points in 32 games played, eventually playing in the top line with UMass and ending off the year with 3 goals in 3 games. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.